Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight, before we get started, I just want to say Happy Independence Day to everybody. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Old Guy Gaming for sending me his USS Iowa Battleship 61 belt buckle that he got during his service from the recommissioning of USS Iowa before her infamous turret explosion. He sent this to me in the mail, and so I wanted to share it with you guys, and I wanted to say thank you for allowing me the honor of holding on to something so historically significant. So thank you so much. And with that being said, I felt like it's Independence Day. What better way to say America than taking out USS Iowa for a romp? And boy, did we get a romp. Alright, so with that being said, let's get to the gameplay. Alrighty, so we're going to be on Greece, and we are in USS Iowa. My original one true love in World of Warships Legends. I have always loved this ship. From the beginning of time all the way through. There's nothing that I can say bad about this ship. It is a fantastically beautiful, powerful monstrosity of human engineering. And it just, unless you've been on board one of these battleships, or any naval vessel for that matter, like, you just cannot get a sense of scale from this game. Like, this game's sense of scale is awful, okay? Y'all just don't understand, but I promise you, if you ever get a chance to visit a naval vessel of any kind, you should take the opportunity to do so. Because it will put you into such a sense of, oh my god, that you just can't replace that. Now, right off the bat, we make a turn. We realize we're up against 3 destroyers and a carrier, so we know we got our work cut out for us, and we notice that right off the bat, this poor North Carolina is spotted catty corner from us. 19 kilometers away. He's not going to see it until it's too late. He does turn in a little bit, but we're going to slap the crap out of him. Iowa already putting 37,000 damage on the board in the opening salvo of the game. And it was at this moment I knew that we were in for a treat. You know, if Iowa's going to be this nice to me in the opening salvo, you know you're about to have some fun, right? Now, that being said, it ain't all sunshine and roses out here, okay? This is World of Warships Legends, and as we know, RNG giveth, and RNG taketh away. Now there, we try to go for the blind fire over the top of the island, hoping to catch him off guard. He either slows down or turns out enough, and all of our shells manage to miss him. But, that being said, we are trying to measure him up, try to get a shot through the island if we can. Unfortunately, he's going to get to a position where we can't shoot him, so we just take turn our attention elsewhere, right? Enemy Vanguard has decided to come forward, and we're going to go ahead and try to take advantage of that. Now, we know that there are 3 destroyers in this match. We know one of them is an Alpha, and we know 2 of them were spotted going into Bravo, or around Bravo. So we have all 3 of the destroyers in our AO. So, with all of that, we have to be on guard. Now, a lot of people always ask me, Spartan, how do you play the Iowa? Because I just can't seem to ever get away from torpedoes. Well, right there you see we take a torpedo early in this one. Got a little complacent. We were expecting some big hits and stuff, and unfortunately the enemy destroyer managed to get a nice spread of torpedoes out there and reach out and touch us, which is really, really unfortunate. Now, that being said, Vanguard decides, you know what, I have had enough living for the day. I think I'm going to go broadside to an Iowa, in which case I reach out and try to smack him right in the mouth. Unfortunately, he gets angled back in just enough to where we don't get much out of it. But it's okay, because he's not going to do much more than that for the rest of the game. He's literally going to just continuously sail over-angled to us. He's going to eat some torpedoes. It's going to be great. Here you can see he's just begging for it. I mean, come on. If this is me in the Vanguard, this is Death Strike territory. Obviously, he doesn't have any health, so there's that. But of course, we get 3 overpins shooting at a broadside Vanguard, and I can't believe it. I mean, I can literally Citadel a Vanguard with a freaking Balti, and here I am with an Iowa failing to Citadel him. Normally, I Death Strike Vanguards that do that, but, you know, we double Citadel the North Carolina on the opening salvo. RNG giveth, RNG taketh away. Now here you can see he's trying to stay away, but it's too late. He's lost too many hit points. We aim for superstructure this time. He's angled away, and we managed to citadel him. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't understand how that's a citadel, but we don't look gift horses in the mouth around here, right? Now you can see I'm asking for some help because I can realize that there are 3 destroyers very close by, and I don't like that. Not in a 870-foot long, beautiful vessel of an Iowa. Now here you can see the game says we got a shot, we take the shot, and of course all of our shells manage to pass through the island and manage to do no damage because of it. Now here is a key moment. I cannot sit here because I am anticipating being YOLO'd by destroyers. There are 3 of them in my neighborhood. You saw the Skane, you saw the Summers, and the Akizuki is sitting right here in the smoke screen right off our bow. Now we are spotted by the enemy carrier. We have a beautiful look at this North Carolina again. So we're going to see if we can't finish him off. And now it's time to get skinny, boys. Torpedo beats intensify. Right off the bat, we realize that there's going to be a little gap here, so we're trying to play the ship into the gap of the torps. And we managed to beautifully put ourselves in the perfect position to dodge those torps. Very minimal effort on our part, but now we know that the Akizuki has a torpedo reload booster. If he hasn't used it, we're about to have a bad day. Not to mention the Skane on my right and the Summers is here. That's a lot of potential torpedoes. We can't take that. And there ain't enough dodging in the world that's going to get us away from that. Fortunately, the German does not manage to citadel us, though he takes a nice chunk off of us. We get turned away, and like clockwork, all of the torpedoes get spotted. It's like, nope, we may have been bored at night, but it was not last night. And fortunately for us, we managed to dodge all of the torpedoes for the moment. Now, if you look at what my team has been doing, it doesn't look good for us, does it? I wasn't able to cap the A base because didn't have any help there. The destroyers were too close by. I can't cap that. So we're like, okay, well, let's move over. Try to help everywhere that we can. And it's at this point where I start to make my push towards this sea cap. Look at the enemy's rotation, right? Like, we've already seen this. We take a shot here at the Colorado over the top of the island. We get the front gun on a delay here, which is really annoying. But we do get a really good hit out of it. Another 14,000 plus damage. And we end up with 120,000 damage right now. And if you look at this game, like, this is almost unwinnable at this point. It isn't unwinnable, but I'm just saying it's almost at that point. There's a tipping point in the match where the match becomes basically unwinnable. The enemy would have to go absolutely insanely bad in order to throw the game. And our team manages to grab the B cap. We have a destroyer heading back towards Alpha. Our Kagero managed to put himself in the only position where he couldn't do crap. He put himself in between 2 destroyers that were going to murder him. And we get double fired by the Boise in the first shot. It's like, really, game? Can you tell me that you want me to lose any harder than this? But just when we think all hope is lost, we take a shot at our North Carolina friend out here, and Iowa comes through, hits him with a couple of pins. We got the rear turret ready to potentially shoot this Boise. Obviously, I want to get rid of the DPM. If you guys remember, the Boise is literally a premium version of essentially the Helena. I know that the Boise and the Helena are 2 different classes, but they're very similar. One gets a better boiler or something like that. That's really the only change. One of them gets a better boiler. And I want to say it is the, oh god. See, it's not the Boise class. It's the, oh god, I always get this wrong. I always forget what class of ship the Boise belongs to. I can't think of it. Somebody will let me know down in the comments. You guys are much better at this than I am. I try to pull it out, and RNG is just saving this man's life. There is no reason he should still be alive. Fortunately, your luck will eventually run out. And fortunately, he doesn't get the permafire on me there, which allows us to stay alive for a little bit longer. Now here, we're trying to utilize the island. I've got to keep my head on a swivel, because I know those 3 destroyers are back there. So I've got to try everything in my power to continue to fight. We're at 160,000 damage done. We got a beautiful look at a broadside Bismarck. He's kind of basically flat broadside. So we aim high. We're not going to citadel him at this range, so we just want to get as many pins as possible. So aiming high is actually for the best. We managed to land 4 out of 6 shells sent down range. You'll love to see that. Then we're going to go ahead and strategically beach here because we don't want to go around the corner because then that puts us, or that exposes us to the North Carolina, the Colorado, and the Bismarck, which is not ideal. We want to get around the corner far enough that we can fire our front guns at this North Carolina who's bow in, and we can probably kill him here. Unfortunately, of course, in true Spartan fashion, we leave him with just enough to get away. But fortunately, Colorado finishes him off. Now, speaking of Colorado, the enemy Colorado sneaks a pretty sneaky little shot into our superstructure over the top of the island. But, I mean, at the end of the day, he's not long for this world. You cannot just continuously sail broadside to a Iowa-class battleship in any ship, let alone a American dreadnought where you're pretty much just begging to die. And fortunately, we slap him across the mouth again, unfortunately, leaving him with just enough, once again, to get away, and for this Colorado behind me to finish off. Now remember that all of this when we get to the end of the game, because we've gotten 2 kills. We've got the Bismarck out here just absolutely begging for it again. Unfortunately, I didn't notice that our carrier was also attacking him, which means that I waste these shots. I should have realized he would turn away. I ended up aiming too short. All of these shells are going to do basically nothing. I think we get 1 overpin. Okay, two full pins. 3,400 damage there. Not too shabby, but not amazing either. But we're right on the cusp of breaking 200,000 damage here. But as you can see, the enemy has all of their destroyers. We only have a single destroyer. Our carrier has been backline Betty the entire game, unable to really assist a whole lot other than going after the battleship. But we're going to try to put ourselves in the position to do some sort of like push against these destroyers. We have to. Otherwise, we lose. Now, this radar by our destroyer was just... it was great, but at the same time, it was absolutely insanely bad. Because he puts himself in such a stupid position that when he does radar these guys, he is screwed. There's nothing he can do. So we take a shot at the Summers here, hoping to finish him off, and... RNG giveth, and RNG taketh away again. You need that to hit. You know what I'm saying? You need that to hit. Fortunately, our carrier is in a position, and if he can just get a couple of bombs on target, he should be able to finish off the Summers. Remember, this is a freaking Saipan. It is insanely powerful. A Saipan is ridiculously strong, especially against destroyers. He should easily be able to kill this destroyer with a single bomb drop here. But we go ahead and we make sure that we're in a position where we can potentially help, and unfortunately we can't sneak the shells over the island. Fortunately, Colorado manages to finish them off. Once again, proving that like the carrier just did not manage to do what we needed him to do here. Now, obviously, we've got the Summers left over here, or was that the Summers that just... We've got a destroyer in the smoke screen to my right. We got the Akazuki off my bow. The enemy destroyers have played this so poorly here at the end that they easily could have lost this game for their team. The downside is I have no way to light them up, and they're all in smoke. So I'm going to have to... I have no choice but to try to aim into the smoke and try to finish them off. I know they're low health. We take shots at the destroyer. We manage to kill the Skane, but unfortunately the Pobeda kills us with his skip bombs. We did everything we could in this match. We fought our backsides off, but unfortunately, in the end, it just does not quite end up being a win, despite our best efforts, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. But we're going to go ahead and speed up the ending of this because nobody wants to sit here for 2 minutes and watch a Colorado, like, in the open water doing nothing, and a carrier doing really nothing for the rest of the match either. So we'll just get to the end of the match. Anyway, this is a prime example of what I've always said, which is destroyers decide who wins and who loses. If you get good destroyers on one team, that team is going to have a huge advantage in the fight. They're going to be able to capture the bases. Our destroyers didn't even bother trying to capture it. At one point, we had one cap, right? I don't think we ever had the Charlie. Maybe we had the Charlie cap for a short amount of time, but they managed to grab that back. But 2,000 base XP, 3 kills in a loss. Remember, that's 2,000 base XP in a loss. That was a crazy good game. And we broke over 200,000 damage done. The enemy Akazuki did well with 2,300. Enemy Summers did well. And surprisingly, North Carolina, despite getting double Citadel at the beginning, manages to make something happen during that match for his team as well. But 202,000 damage. Solid game to showcase for Independence Day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.